The city was a memory, loud, bright, relentless. Leo and Sam drove for hours, leaving concrete and steel behind. The road narrowed, trees crowding in, the air turning cool and clean. They searched for quiet, for a place where only nature spoke. In a small clearing, they pitched their blue tent, a fragile home in the vastness. The sun set, painting the sky in soft orange and purple, nothing like the city's neon. Leo gathered wood, Sam unpacked, both moving with a calm they'd forgotten. The forest welcomed them, with a hush. As darkness fell, the trees became shadows, their branches like reaching fingers. The silence was thick, alive, pressing in from all sides. They sat by their fire, its glow their only shield. Beyond the light, the world was a mystery. Their voices were low, every word loud in the immense quiet. They avoided talking about the feeling growing inside them, a sense of being watched. The air shifted, a presence settling in as night deepened. The forest was no longer just an escape. It was changing, becoming something else. The quiet they'd sought now felt heavy, almost hostile. Every shadow seemed to hide something. The city's chaos was gone, but so was its safety. They realized the wilderness had its own kind of danger, and it was closing in. The fire was their anchor, the heart of their world. Flames danced, casting shifting light on their faces. Leo stared into the fire, trying to focus on its warmth, but his ears strained for any sound beyond. Sam poked the embers, eyes fixed on the darkness at the edge of the light. The fire shrank, its glow retreating as the night pressed closer. Shadows stretched, turning bushes into crouching beasts, trees into gaunt figures. Leo's heartbeat thundered in his chest. The world faded to gray and black. Only a faint red glow remained, a weak heartbeat in the camp. The darkness won, swallowing the last comfort of the fire. Silence fell, unnatural, absolute. No wind, no birds, just stillness. Sam's eyes darted, searching the gloom. He saw nothing, but felt everything. The sense of being watched grew stronger. They were no longer alone. The fire's last dance was over. The forest was awake, and it was watching. Every sound, every shadow felt like a threat. The night had truly begun, and they were at its mercy. They retreated into the tent, zipping the door shut, a thin barrier against the night. Inside, the air was cold and still. Their world shrank to a small, fragile space. They lay in silence, words useless, fear unspoken. Leo stared at the ceiling, forcing slow breaths, listening for anything. But there was nothing. No wind, no animals, just a perfect, suffocating silence. It wasn't peace, it was a void, a sense of something waiting. Sam curled up, shivering, trying to disappear. The fear was primal, raw, making every sound inside the tent feel enormous. Time stretched, each second an eternity. They were trapped in a bubble of fear, floating in a sea of silence. The world outside was gone, replaced by something unknown. Silence was no longer absence, it was a presence. It pressed in, heavy and patient. Every movement felt dangerous, every breath too loud. The rules of the world had changed. They were in a place where silence meant danger. And something was listening. The tent felt smaller with every passing moment. Fear was their only companion. And it was growing. From the west, a sharp snap shattered the silence, a twig breaking under weight. Leo and Sam froze, breathless, hearts pounding. The silence that followed was heavier, aware. Leo sensed Sam's terror, a cold energy filling the tent. Another sound, a slow dragging scrape through dry leaves. Pause, scrape. The rhythm was deliberate, not animal, but purposeful. It circled the tent, testing their fragile sanctuary. Leo squeezed his eyes shut, trying to rationalize. Deer, bear, anything normal. But the sound was too slow, too intelligent. It was something walking on two legs, dragging something behind. The image in Leo's mind was worse than the darkness. A tall figure, unnatural, shuffling through the leaves. The tent felt even thinner, the night more alive. Every instinct screamed to run, but they were paralyzed. The sound moved closer, circling, searching. The silence between scrapes was unbearable. Leo's mind raced, filling the darkness with horrors. The known world was gone. Only fear remained, and the thing outside, waiting. A cold, pale moonlight grew outside, casting shadows on the tent walls. The blue fabric became a screen for long, distorted shapes, skeletal fingers stretching across nylon. Leo watched, unable to look away. Every movement outside transformed into something sinister. The thin tent walls offered no real protection. Then, a new shadow appeared, solid, shaped like a head and shoulders. It was tall, taller than any man, perfectly still at the edge of the tent. Leo's heart stopped. He couldn't breathe or think. The shadow tilted its head, a slow, unnatural gesture. It moved with a fluidity that was inhuman. The shadow seemed to study the tent, its gaze a cold weight on Leo's chest. He wanted to scream, but fear stole his voice. All he could do was stare, paralyzed as the shadow loomed. The moonlight made everything sharper, more real. The presence outside was undeniable. The tent felt transparent, their fear exposed. The shadow watched, silent and patient, and Leo could only wait. The wind rose, moaning through the pines. A mournful, warning song. The tent fluttered, shadows dancing wildly. The forest seemed alive, awakened by the thing outside. Amid the wind, a new sound began, a low, humming voice, not quite words. The hum grew louder, vibrating in the air and in their bones. It was ancient, wrong, a sound that didn't belong. The humming wrapped around them, a cocoon of terror. Leo pressed his hands to his ears, but the sound was inside his head. Sam shook beside him, matching the rhythm of the hum. The hum shifted, forming guttural, strange words. Within the alien sounds, Leo heard his own name, stretched, distorted, cold. The thing outside knew him. The realization was a blast of icy fear. The voice was not human, not alive. It was a violation, a presence inside him, and it was calling. The whispering stopped. The wind died. Silence returned, tense, expectant. The shadow remained, unmoving, a sentinel outside. Leo lowered his hands, breath loud in the quiet. Then, a new sound, the metallic click of the tent zipper. Slow, deliberate zip, an inch at a time. The sound was torture, a countdown to horror. Moonlight crept in through the widening gap. Leo's body refused to move, paralyzed by fear. The zipper crawled upward, each inch a new wound in their shelter. The opening grew, enough for something to look through. Leo imagined an unblinking eye at the gap. Sam was rigid beside him, the tension unbearable. The zipper's scraping was the only sound in the world. Their last barrier was vanishing. The night was coming in, and there was nothing they could do. The opening yawned wider, inviting the darkness. The world outside was about to step in, and they were helpless. The zipper stopped, leaving a gaping opening. Cold air and a faint, sweet smell of decay drifted in. Nothing happened at first, just a dark rectangle framed by moonlight. The shadow was gone, but a thick, unnatural fog began to seep inside. It crept across the floor, chilling everything it touched. The fog muffled all sound, creating a pocket of absolute quiet. Leo watched as the fog rose, obscuring Sam and filling the tent. Then a shape formed in the opening, a face, long and pale, featureless except for two black, unblinking eyes. The mouth was a thin, black line that stretched into a wide, silent smile. The face hung in the fog, its smile a curve of pure hunger. Leo's paralysis broke. A choked gasp escaped him. He scrambled backward, desperate to escape. The face didn't move, only watched, its eyes drinking in his terror. The smile grew wider, impossibly so. The fog thickened, the face looming. Leo's fear was absolute. The thing in the doorway was not human. The face vanished, dissolving into the fog, which slowly receded from the tent. The cold left with it. The normal sounds of the forest returned. But the image of the face was burned into Leo's mind. He pressed against the back of the tent, trembling, eyes fixed on the open doorway. Nothing returned. The moonlight seemed normal again. Leo turned to Sam, who lay motionless in his sleeping bag. "Sam?" Leo whispered, voice cracking. No answer. He crawled over, touched Sam's shoulder, cold, stiff. Panic rising, Leo shook him harder. "Sam, wake up!" Sam didn't move. Leo fumbled for his phone, desperate for light. The screen's glow filled the tent, chasing shadows. He shone it on Sam's face, eyes wide, mouth frozen in a silent scream, but what made Leo's blood run cold was the reflection. On Sam's chest, where his own phone should have been, was Leo's phone. Its screen was dark, but in the black reflection illuminated by Sam's phone, Leo saw a face, the long pale face from the fog, and it was smiling right behind him. The terror was real, inescapable, and it was not done with him yet.